Good day. Welcome to our next video in the series of what seeds we're sowing this month. I'm very late in doing the video this month, so it's now the 23rd of June, and this is our June seed sowing video, so I'm late, for which apologies. However, because I'm late, what I've decided to do is do this as a June and July seed sowing video, because many of the seeds that I'm sowing in June can also be sown in July. I will come on to the seeds that I am sowing in July at the end, one or two of which it's best to actually sow them in July, and I'll mention that as we go along. So what have we sown already in June? Autumn King carrots, an absolute staple for us. They do well each year. In fact, I sowed these about maybe 7 to 10 days ago, and they're already germinating. They have been sown in a raised bed with not rich soil, but pretty fine soil, because they like that type of soil. We took our elephant garlic out from another bed about 10 days ago, and I've now cleared that bed, and we're going to be sowing some more Autumn King carrots there in the next couple of weeks. Staying with roots, beetroot. We've had a mixed year here. If you watch us, you'll know we've had a mixed year. Beetroot being one of them. Some of the beetroot that we sowed hasn't germinated. Some that we did sow germinated well, but didn't grow because of the soil conditions. And other beetroot, which I'm looking at just in front of me down here, are doing really, really well. There are Detroit beetroot. What I have done is modular sowed some beetroot, and the varieties I have modular sowed are Burpee's Golden, which is one of our favourites, Beetroot Chioggia, which is another favourite. That's got the red and white rings in the beetroot, just absolutely gorgeous. Beetroot, if you look at the seed of a beetroot, there's many different parts to it, and that's because they're multi-seeded. I've also sown two varieties which are mono-seeded, so they're not multi-seeded. Those have been Moneta and a Solo F1. I don't normally do F1 seeds, but this one's called Solo F1, and they have all germinated pretty well. In fact, I'll cut in a video of them now. We've also sown turnip Snowball, again in modules, and that again has germinated pretty well. Right, leaving roots for the time being, one thing that we always sow is Perpetual spinach, and it's a beet leaf. This is one that we got as many seeds we get in magazines. It's just a general beet leaf from King Seeds. Have used them before, and again germinating well. And then also fennel. We love fennel, really love fennel. Again, I've modular sown this. When we've been sowing direct in the soil, for some reason the slugs and snails are really out in force this year, and if we can't protect them, many things have been munched. But you know, that's the way of life. So what I've done is I've sown all of these things that I've just discussed in modules, and then I'm going to let those grow on and put them out as stronger plants, because hopefully putting things out as stronger plants will mean that they're less susceptible to being munched on by slugs and snails, or at least they're at a certain stage in their growth that if they do get munched on, it's not going to be quite as damaging. You can imagine those young seed leaves, which you'll have seen now. Those are so yummy to slugs and snails, where something that is larger and in many cases just bulkier, they won't have the opportunity to get onto them and destroy the plant in one go. Though sometimes, of course, they do. Sorry about that little interruption there from another plot holder. A lovely interruption, but yeah. Next, beans. Our climbing beans are having a bit of a challenge this year. as well as the situation with the soil, where we found the soil was lacking in nutrients. That has actually largely been rectified now. But then they got inundated with blackfly. I mean, so much blackfly, unbelievable, and not the ladybirds around to deal with them. So some of them have succumbed. They just haven't grown as well as they should have done. They are beginning to come back now with fresh growth coming up and the climbing beans climbing up the poles. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sow additional seeds at the bottom of our poles. So even where we have plants that have sort of established themselves, I'm going to put extra climbing beans in. And they are going to be white lady runner beans and also a French bean, which I've never done before, called Isabel. Sorry, I've never done Isabel before. I've done French beans before. These are just ones that we have been sent and were in Bertie the Box, so I'm going to sow those direct in the soil. Hopefully they will come up and they will be much later than the ones that we've got in, but possibly with the issues that we've had with our climbing beans, maybe they'll all come at the same time. Who knows? I've also decided to sow some bush beans of Borlotto. These are, I'm not very good at pronunciation in Italian. Borlotto di Vigevano. Borlotto di Vigevano. And effectively it says Nano, so I know actually it's a bush bean rather than a climbing bean. I was also sent some additional Coco de Paimpol seeds from a friend in France. So on top of the ones that I've sown that I got from Vivi, I'm also sowing additional Coco de Paimpol, which are bush beans. Again, they're going to be sown direct in the soil. So that is really all that I have done and I am doing for June. Let's move on to July. I am going to be sowing more beetroot. This time a F1 again, which I have. I don't normally do F1 as I say, but it's called Avalanche. It's a white beetroot and it will be interesting to see how that does. Again, I'm going to sow it in modules and then plant out those modules as we go along. In fact, I'll show you a shot of the modular sown beetroot that's now in the ground. That's Burpee's Golden and Crapaudine, and you can see how they're clustered together in that module. And what we'll do is just harvest a beetroot by turning it around and pulling it away from the clump. So yeah, that's Avalanche beetroot. Then a Swede called Gillfeather rutabaga. This is from Sandy in the US. So Swedes in the US are called rutabagas. And that's going to be going in July. That's specifically July sown. So July and August sown. Then chicory. I meant to do this chicory a couple of months ago, didn't get round to it. So I moved that in Bertie the Box to the July section and I'm sowing those in modules. All of these are being sown in modules. Sorry, another interruption, sneezing fit. I think there's quite a lot of pollen in the air today, and there's also quite a lot of very fine seeds with the... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Lettuce. More lettuce. So most of the lettuce that we do is romaine style or Kos style, so that we can take off the outer leaf and let the whole lettuce grow. I'm doing this one, Marvel of Four Seasons, which is a heading lettuce. So I will let that grow to a full head and then harvest the full head rather than harvesting the outer leaves. Another seed sent by Shaz from the Kingstone 8 channel is this Northern Queen lettuce, which is from her Save Seeds. So I'm going to be sowing that. Thanks very much for that, Shaz. And then finally, yes, I've already said we're going to be sowing further Autumn King carrots in our bed where the elephant garlic was. So finally, yes, it is finally, we're going to be doing these loose de Otono, broad beans. Now, these are an or these can be grown and are largely grown as an autumn harvesting broad bean. So they're sown in July for harvesting in sort of like October, November. We did get plants last year and put them in, and they were doing well, but the really wet weather that we had in the autumn last year and the early winter gave them so much black spot that I had to take them out. The leaves were going black, the fruits were not forming. We didn't have the pollinators around because there was so much wet weather for them to really get going. So what I'm going to be doing is sowing these around mid to late July, and hopefully we will have broad beans to harvest in October. You can sow these later. It says you can sow them October to January for harvesting the following year, but we're going to try these in the July to October period. So July sowing, October, November harvesting. Fingers crossed on those. If these do not do well for us this year as directly sown seeds, we won't do them again. Okay, that was another little interruption. Never mind. That's what happens. You're filming at the plot, and because I'm chair of the association, people come and ask me questions, and obviously, you know, they want to have a chat as well, which is great because I want to have a chat most of the time as well. There's been a plane flying backwards and forwards. Don't know what it is, but it's literally, since I've been here at the plot, which is about an hour, it's just been going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. It must be doing some radar scanning of the surface for some reason. It's quite interesting because it's quite low, and because we're, you know, Heathrow is only about 10 or 15 miles that way, and it's quite low. So, and crossing, obviously it's not crossing a flight path. That's why possibly planes are taking off in the other direction today. Maybe. Anyway, waffling on. That's it. I'm going to go. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do want to watch any of our other videos, please go over and watch them. Do subscribe if you like our channel, and give us a thumbs up if you like the videos. If you don't like the videos, and give us a thumbs down. Thanks very much for that interaction. And we'll be talking about thumbs down at some point, because I've had a conversation with YouTube about them. So yeah, that'll be interesting. See you soon. Bye. Look at this beauty dancing in the wind. Oh, it's so gorgeous.